Welcome to r/relationships, where OP has a secret trust fund worth tens of millions of dollars. Our next Reddit post is from Deep Book. I had a very rich and powerful dad who died when I was a child and left me a lot of money. After he died, all of his sycophant, money-grubbing friends tried to dig their claws into me. They would try to manipulate me into signing on to different things with them knowing I had money that could help them, and that I was too young to know what I should say no to. It got so bad that my mom ended up having to get me a personal lawyer/advisor. I never felt like I deserved the money I got, because I didn't. And I felt like it brought so much evil into my life that I was not prepared for. So I made the decision to not touch it unless I absolutely needed it, like for school or medical stuff. I've donated tens of millions of dollars, at this point about half the money, to different causes that I know my dad would have cared about and that I care about. Anyways, I don't tell anybody I have this money after seeing what it does to people's behavior, and how, for a lot of people, they either see me as less or they try to use me for their own gain. The only people that know are my mother and my childhood best friend. But now I've been dating my girlfriend for 2 years, and she's the first person I've really taken seriously as a candidate for my future. So about 6 months ago, I told her about my situation. I told her not to tell anybody though. Her parents, her friends, nobody. I was entrusting her with this because it's a relevant part of me and could potentially affect our future. Cut to a couple of months ago. I noticed her parents acting different around me, trying to mentor me, get closer to me. At first, I thought that it was just us getting closer, them seeing me as kind of like a son. But then I overheard my girlfriend talking to her parents on speakerphone, and they mentioned my trust and what I would be doing with it. I feel absolutely betrayed, and now I feel like I don't trust her. I know to some it may not seem like a big deal, but to me it always was, because I just got so sick of people trying to use me or see what I've accomplished as less because I had money to start. After that, I started thinking back, and then I remember her friend making a comment when I wouldn't pay for someone's Uber. She said, "Come on, you can afford it." I asked my girlfriend about it then, and she said that she probably just assumes I have money because I have a nice car. By the way, so does she. Anyways, I'm trying to stay unbiased, and I need your guys' help. I know a lot of this is probably stemming from my own ego, insecurities, and past experiences, but I'm still very upset that she betrayed my trust. OP, I don't think this really has anything to do with insecurity and past experiences. This just has to do with breaking trust. You asked her not to do something, and she did it. So at that point, I don't know how you could possibly trust her to do anything, because if she'll lie about this, will she lie about her wedding vows, for example? Our next Reddit post is from Ancient Tip. I'm a 33-year-old guy and my wife is 28. We've been married for 2 months, and suddenly, my ex has been a topic for a month now. I have no idea why this came up in the first place. Probably popped up on my Instagram. My wife has been really pissed off. She said she's disgusted by me dating this low-class woman. For background, my ex came from a poor family. Grew up without a father, a single mom raising her. She's now earning quite well. She had some habits that I didn't like, that's why I broke up with her. My wife is from an upper-middle-class family. She's been the top student from kindergarten to university. She earns higher than my ex. She's a woman who always improves herself, has a strong family culture. I came from a middle-class family, earning well too. I'm a stubborn guy though. I grew up with my grandparents because my parents were working abroad. I studied in private schools from start to finish. My ex and my wife never met. I barely told my wife anything about my ex. She's been on and off about this topic, or seeing other men that is of higher quality than me just because she thinks my ex is low class. She said she's disgusted by me that I even considered dating that woman. She doesn't want me to touch her or even be near her. I'm going crazy. I can't do anything because it's in the past. She's saying that I don't understand her. What is it exactly that I don't understand? I'm confused. I also don't want the divorce. I also mentioned her getting jealous, and she got even more angry and said it's confirmed that I don't understand her. What am I actually missing? Does it really matter to some people about the class status their partner has dated? I have a psychiatrist appointment because I don't know if I have mental health problems now. So it's okay for OP's wife to date down from upper middle class to middle class, but it's not okay for OP to date down from middle class to lower class? Very weird situation, especially since you seem to think so highly of her when she's clearly very bigoted. I'd say if anyone here is acting without class, it's her. Then OP posted an update to say that he's agreeing to her divorce. Our next Reddit post is from Grippy Mommy. My boyfriend, who's 30, lost everything, and I, a 20-year-old woman, am thinking about leaving him. It started when he lost his job. He decided he wanted to live off of unemployment checks and not find another job for a year. Why? Because he believes in numerology and Chinese astrology. My boyfriend listens to this guy named Gary, who goes by GG33, and he takes this stuff very, very seriously. In astrology, this year is the year of the horse, and he's a rat. Gary made up this term enemy signs, where two signs clash and they don't get along well. As a result, you can have a very bad unlucky year. The horse and the rat are enemy signs, apparently. Gary says that if you're in your enemy year, to take a year off if you can and don't work. 6 weeks later, he lost his car. And still, no unemployment check because he was too lazy to check his status and figure out what he needed to do. He only checked it now because his roommate is getting tired of him and threatening to kick him out because he's way behind on bills. He spends all of his time playing his games, and I'm not even exaggerating. He stays up until 9 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m. playing it. He's even played it for 20 hours. Normally, he plays it for 14 plus hours. I even now get left on delivered while he plays his games, and he'll respond the next day. I brought this up to him that it bothers me, but all he says is that he never really has anything to say. He's enjoying his vacation, and he's starting his new career. A new career, you may ask? He wants to upload his gaming footage on YouTube and believes he'll make millions from it. I can't make this up. I even told him that him typing one message that says, "Hey, I'm gonna go play my game," takes 15 seconds, yet he still doesn't do it. Anyway, after his roommate threatened to kick him out, he said he'll go back to his mom's place and just sit there playing games until his unemployment check comes in. So I think I'm done. Tell me what you think. Update, I broke up with him. It feels like a weight has been lifted off my shoulder. Okay, well that's a relief. 20 years old is way too young to tie yourself to a loser who acts like he's 14 playing Fortnite for 14 hours a day nonstop. Our next Reddit post is from Deleted. I'm a 23-year-old woman, and my husband gets offended over everything, and I don't know how to handle it anymore. For some background, I grew up in a very insensitive family, and I know I still struggle with understanding what's hurtful to others and what's socially acceptable to joke about. Being low contact with my family definitely helps. My husband grew up in completely the opposite. They're the most sensitive and easy to offend group of people I've ever met. The rants my mother-in-law has are crazy. She'll go off for hours about a lady who offered her a type of tea she obviously doesn't like, and bring it up again the next day. I found his family endearing at first, after living with people who joked about my looks as entertainment, but I quickly found that his family is the same, but they dress up their words and think of themselves as better than everyone, where my family at least knows they're bad people. Anyway, when we began our relationship, I would offend him pretty often. Back then, I would apologize, make it up to him, and reflect on my rude habits. This past year, however, I've been noticing he gets offended over issues that don't even make any sense, and it's got me rethinking our whole relationship. The oldest one I can remember is a few years ago when we were cuddling and being silly, and I patted his head and jokingly said, "Good boy." I can't remember why I said it honestly, but he did not like it. He got up and said very aggressively, "I'm not a dog," and didn't talk to me for a week. Throughout the rest of our relationship to this point, it's gotten to the point where I have to phrase my words in a gentle way, even if I want to mention anything that troubles me in the relationship. If I say it in an off way, he gets offended. And when he gets offended, he makes sure I know too. He'll bring it up anytime we have a disagreement, or if I try to talk to him about any issue I have. But of course, he can tell me everything that's wrong about me and about how I'm acting like my mother, who I have a strained relationship with, anytime I start feeling like myself or if I stand up for myself to anyone, especially him. And everyone else also offends him too. Somehow, he's always offended by something someone said. If I try to say that maybe they weren't trying to offend you and maybe they were just joking, he gets upset at me and tells me I'm acting like I know everything. No, I'm just tired of hearing the same story being told in a progressively worse way. when I was there and it didn't happen the way he framed it. The thing that frustrates me the most is that he gets offended for other people. Yesterday, he was explaining his workday and explained how his coworker's wife came in with their kids. He recounted the events and some of the things that were said, and I thought that it was all very sweet. Specifically, he mentioned that his coworker was having a rough day, so his wife and other coworkers were joking around, I'm assuming to cheer him up. My husband goes, "It's so sad. I felt bad for him." I turned to look at him so fast, my neck almost snapped, because what? So I asked him, why exactly do you feel bad for him? He goes, well, obviously, because he's the manager and everyone was disrespecting him and his wife humiliated him in front of everyone. I asked him, how exactly was everyone disrespecting him? And how was his wife humiliating him? He looks at me as if I'm dumb and says, none of them should have been talking so informally to him. I mentioned that maybe his wife knows how to best cheer him up, and if he really was offended, well, he's 30 years old and he could communicate it like an adult. This brought a huge argument, and things have been tense since. I'm so tired of this. I'm tired of walking on eggshells around him. I don't know what to do. I'm sorry this is so long. I haven't actually worded any of this out yet. Opie, if I were dating someone and I patted them on the head and said, good girl, and they gave me the cold shoulder silent treatment for a full week, I would just move on during that week. You are incredibly patient to deal with this person. I can accurately say that my 5-year-old is more patient and forgiving than this guy. Our next Reddit post is from Equivalent Print. My husband, who's 28, wants to cut off a lifelong friend, who's also 28, after he made AI adult content of me, a 28-year-old woman. My husband has been best friends with this guy since childhood. They grew up down the street from each other. I've been with my husband for 8 years, and I've known this friend the entire time. A few nights ago, the friend's girlfriend called my husband and told him she went through his phone and found a large amount of AI-generated content, including content made of me. I didn't find out until the next morning. My husband showed me a screen recording she sent. He'd taken photos directly from my Instagram and turned them into explicit clips. I felt completely sick. I asked my husband to take me to his house so I could delete everything. We picked up the girlfriend and went together. When we got there, he refused to come out. He made fake puking noises and slid his phone under the door instead of facing us. I went through his phone and deleted everything I could find. There were over 20 images and videos of me, but also his mom, his sisters, including one who's visibly pregnant, his girlfriend, and other women. We deleted everything from his phone, cloud storage, and camera roll. Now I feel extremely violated. Looking back, there were red flags. He would push conversations towards my love life, ask inappropriate questions, and even suggested I should sleep with other men. When he briefly lived with us, I thought I saw him peeking into our bedroom when I was changing, but I never told my husband because I didn't want to damage their friendship. Now, my husband wants to completely cut him off. I support that, but I'm unsure if there's any value in hearing him out first, or if it's better to just move on and have no further contact. There's also another layer. I work with him, and I actually helped him get his job a few years ago. Now, I don't know how I'm supposed to interact with him at work, and I'm considering going to HR because I feel really uncomfortable being around him. Also, in an update, OP clarifies that she decided to stop contact completely, and she did report the problem to HR. Yo, his mom and his sister? Vomit. Barf. Gross. Why would you want to hear this guy out? Why even post on Reddit? There's no coming back from that. My husband, who's 35, wants me to quit my job because I, a 36-year-old woman, make more than him. When me and my husband started dating, it was clear that he made more money, but that would change when I got my first promotion. I started earning $20,000 more than his average salary. At first he didn't mind, even celebrated with me, but as time moved on, he started making sly remarks about it. This year, I've been offered a promotion that would make my salary $156,000 per month. When I got home, I felt the need to share this news with him, but he just snapped at me. He told him how embarrassing it was for him, and how it would be better if I turned it down and became a housewife, about how he needed to be the provider for us, not the other way around. I tried reasoning with him and telling him about the advantages this brought. about how we could be able to afford our daughter's ballet and violin lessons, but he's not hearing it. I have 3 more days to be able to accept, and he's threatening divorce if I accept. I don't know what to do. I've tried everything, and still he isn't learning. I don't know what to do. Easy, OP. Accept the job offer and dump this guy. This guy cares more about his weak little pathetic ego than he does about you, your career, your future, your child's future. The amount of money you're coming into is crazy, and he wants to turn that down just because it makes him feel like a little man? Pathetic. The math on that, by the way, is $1.9 million per year. I could kind of understand his point if, the job required crazy hours or made OP travel a lot, like separated her from the relationship and like took away time from the family. But this has nothing to do with the relationship. It has to do with him needing to feel bigger than you. And this guy's raising a daughter? Ugh, gives me the creeps. That was r/relationships. And if you like this content, check out my podcast where I publish the exact same episodes. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.